5 o'clock. I'm calling to order the December meeting of the Cotuit Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners, Tuesday, December 8th. We're starting at 5 p.m. Present is Commissioner Pisano.
Commissioner Conley.
And Commissioner Zace.
Chief Root.
And Deputy Chief Pouliot, I see there too. To all of you, welcome. And I've received no notice of any recordings outside of what we're doing. Let's open to public comment to start.
Hi, Cynthia Gardner, 94 School Street. Can I request to have public comment moved to the end?
I'll be happy if it doesn't run over. I'm trying to get this done by 6 o'clock. Anything else? Jessica, hi.
Hi, I just want to express my thanks to the fire department for participating in Christmas in Cotuit. And I'm very glad to see Deputy Chief Pouliot here, Santa. He was great. And the family, everybody enjoyed it so much, and it really made it special. And I hope we don't have to do that same scenario next year, but a portion as far as collecting food and needed diapers and whatnot, I think is really special and made it quite a giving day. And I'm glad to see that. So thank you very much. I just called to say that.
Thank you. I was going to make mention of the same thing. We received a very nice letter to the chief and to the firefighters who participated from the Civic Association, also expressing their appreciation for the service and how well it went, and wanted to add my endorsement. Really glad that went off, given all the juggling that had to go on to make it happen. You guys did a great job.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Paul. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Adam.
No, I was going to say thanks, Joe. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I want to add the Civic Association did an amazing job. They planned this 100%. They had the route plan. They had interfaced with the community and got names of children and addresses. They organized a food drive, which was the biggest delivery of food to Christ the King food pantry ever received. So they did an amazing job. Thank you to Jessica for the huge donation. She loaded on top of the brush breaker. Unfortunately, a little late at night when we got to her house. It ran a little longer than we thought, but thank you very much.
Well, it was my pleasure. My grandson was like, I don't know. I think they're lying. They're not coming here, because we could hear the sirens up in the coves. I said, no, they'll be here. So thank you, really.
Okay. We have received copies of the minutes from last month's meeting. I've had a chance to review them. I made a couple of small edits just in titles and things, but otherwise they seemed fine to me.
Me too.
You're muted again, Kevin.
There you go. As well, no issue.
Great, then make a motion to approve the minutes as they are filed.
Second.
In favor, Pisano.
Conley.
Zace.
Very good. Let's move to the chief's report.
Chief, before you begin, thank you so much for adding that extra report about that we talked about last month.
You're welcome. It's still a work in progress. I think some of the pickup truck responses are a little underreported, but we're working on improving the online cloud documentation of those reports. So they should.
Yeah, no, I think that's a real helpful report.
Okay, good.
We're talking about the new format for monthly activities and what responded to what.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was going to comment. I also appreciated this new format. Was very helpful.
Good. As far as runs, we went to 73 total responses. 51 were medical, 4 were hazardous condition, and 18 were service, good intent, and false alarm calls. Administration PPE is still in good supply. There are shortages across the nation, specifically for gloves right now, I believe. but we're doing good. We got supplies before they became short. COVID update. I think we have, I think it's 13 right now positives in the community. The town changed the way they log potentially contagious COVID patients. They're now reducing it to a 14-day period. So once 14 days is expired since you've been positive, they take you off the list. So it dropped our numbers down. I think we had 4 that we added to the list today. So we had a bit of an uptick today. The numbers for the town were going quite a bit higher before Thanksgiving. Over the last weekend, they dropped a little bit for the town, but I believe Barnstable's still red, so we're not in a good place. But
And we haven't seen the post-Thanksgiving predicted bump up
no,
yet.
and maybe that 4 today was part of that. I don't know. I've been told there's a significant lag right now in the reporting system of COVID positives, so that they are so overwhelmed with doing tests that there's a significant delay for us to get the reported positives. As far as the testing, the county has gotten $500,000 in grant money, and they're starting. They started 2 drive-through testing centers. One is at the Old County Fairgrounds in Falmouth, and the other one is at the Melody Tent in Hyannis. So the Melody Tent just opened up on Monday. It's being staffed by this week by Hyannis firefighters. There's a good chance we'll have some Cotuit firefighters there next week. Again, it's all grant money. It's not going to cost the district of Cotuit any money. And we're hoping that this COVID testing drive-through will hopefully turn into a COVID vaccine drive-through at some point in time in the future. But that's the hope. There's no concrete plans yet on how the vaccine will be delivered or who gets it or what vaccine we get. So they're still trying to figure that out. So the vaccine, I've been told that there's 300,000 vaccines in the state right now. They're still deciding who's going to get it and when they're going to get them. They supposedly were going to be available possibly on the 15th of the month. So again, though, I'm not sure if they're going to be available to us on the 15th. I'll let you know as soon as we find that out. So we did have a positive COVID test for one of our staff, the test came in Saturday evening. The staff member had worked at the station on Wednesday for a 24-hour shift, and then very rapidly came down with symptoms on Thursday morning. So there was a union meeting at the station on Wednesday as well. So the guys are all behaving very well. Everybody's wearing masks. Everybody's following rules. They're all social distancing, but there was the potential contact with a large amount of our staff. So as a precaution, we had just ordered 2 cases of rapid test kits, which we got a hold of. So we tested with the help of Sandwich Fire, getting the test kits. We tested every one of our staff on Sunday morning. So everybody was tested with the rapid test kit. It's an antigen test kit. Everybody came back negative. So fortunately, the one positive was confined to a single person. So we're good. We still have 28 rapid tests available. My intent is to make those available. We're allowed to give those to district employees, and that's it. We're not allowed to use those in the public. So Sandwich Fire uses them anytime someone calls in sick. If they have a COVID symptom, they're tested immediately upon return to work. My intention is to do that for the water fire department for, until we run out of them. The $25 per test is well worth trying to limit exposure to any positives. So I've made the water department aware we have them, and we're able to give the tests whenever they need them.
Very good.
Chief, I suspect you're not going to run out of them. I mean, you will run out of them before
Yes.
what is the expiration of those kinds of tests, if any?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's at least 6 months or a year.
Okay.
I imagine we're going to run out of the 28 we have probably in the next 2 months, at which time we'll probably get some more in there. They're $25 a test, or about $500 a case of 20. So they're not cheap, but they're far less than the $130 for the PSR tests, which are a little bit more accurate. It's far cheaper than having somebody come in and possibly contaminate multiple staff. So, but yeah, good question. I'll have to check on the expiration date.
Yeah, I'm doing a Google search now.
I got it right here, Chief.
You do?
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
Jeff.
March of 2021 for the batch that we've got right now.
March of 21. So yeah, like 6
3,
months,
4 months.
5 months. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I suspect they'll get used up before they expire.
Probably. Joe's got him locked up in his cabinet right behind him. So that was a big help.
So there's no particular storage requirements, just
No,
locked. Yeah, okay.
no, it's just room temperature, locked up.
Yep.
It's a nasal swab. You dip it in a reactant and put it on a little test kit, and it gives you a blue line if you're positive and just a test line if you're negative. So pretty simple to administer, and I think they're 95 or 6% accurate, I think is what we were told. So hopefully we don't have to use them, but if we do, hopefully it keeps someone else from getting sick.
Good.
Technology update. I think I told you last time we bought a new Sonic wall. Secure Networks had rented us one in the past, so we gave them theirs back. We've got a new one installed. We installed the new UPS for our rack system, a backup power supply at the same time. And we've got all of our files moved off of the old Data Workplace system and onto Microsoft SharePoint. So turns out SharePoint is free, and it's a Microsoft product. It's significantly better than what we were using. So we are working on getting a homepage up. So when the firefighters come to work, or when the commissioners want to log on and see our information, there's an internet site, which is a homepage for the fire department, private to our network, where all of the files will be listed on the left side of the page, documents. There are quick links to every work-related item anybody would need. So if they're on a medical call, there's a picture of the image trend PCR. And you click on that and you get your patient care report up. If you're doing a fire report, there's another quick link to go to your fire reports. If you want to see the security cameras, there's a quick link for that. Everything is in one spot. Nothing has to be loaded on the computer. Everything runs on the cloud. So it makes all of our computers dumb terminals. None of the Microsoft products need to be loaded locally. They all run on the cloud. We've got everything loaded on there. We have a consultant we're using. We're waiting for them to verify that our permissions are locked down before we open it up to everybody. But hopefully the next week that'll be opened up and everybody will get their appropriate link with their appropriate permissions. But it's going to be much better than what we had, and much more user friendly. So you guys will be able to see every commissioner meeting we ever had, all the minutes, listen to them, see the notes from every one of them. You'll be able to see cameras for the fire station. The purchasing module, there's a purchasing module that's on a separate homepage, which has links to every company we want to purchase, and a spreadsheet with every purchase ever made this fiscal year, and categories, and you can sort by account number, or clothing for which person it was ordered for, or whatever. So we'll have to give a class on it because it's a little bit of a learning curve to using it. So maybe next commissioners meeting, we'll plan on a little longer one and do a little class on SharePoint and how to get the information out of it.
Speaking of instructions, last time, Adam and Kevin, you both asked to be involved in the training module. Did that happen? Were you able to participate? That was for the Valley.
Hasn't happened yet. We have not. They haven't scheduled the training. I guess the holidays have delayed them a little bit. I'm still waiting for the cloud link to the. So right now, if we're in the station, we can run the software on my computer and see the video and look back at the recordings. But to view it outside the firewall, we need to load some kind of a cloud viewing software, and they haven't set it up yet. So as soon as that's set up, we'll go through the training. It hasn't happened yet. I apologize.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Training. They ran a Scott Air Pack training on the 19th of November. So that was Bill McNamara, Jeremy McPherson. Who else ran that show? The two of them?
Brian Lee.
And Brian Lee. So they set up an obstacle course where I think the first one was raising and lowering extension ladder. And then the first one was a dummy. So they have a dummy drag, a ladder hoist. Then you walk next door to the the 56 High Street, you walked around the back to the walkout area, climbed up a ladder to the next floor, climbed in the window, went around to a large truck tire, hit it with a sledgehammer. Then I think, walked around the fire station and back and started all over again. So all done in full gear with the air packs, breathing air. So the idea was getting used to wearing gear, getting used to the new air packs. They're a different pressure. They've got safety warnings at a different level. So getting used to how much air and how much work we can actually do at a fire. And then how much work or how much time we have to escape after the alarm sounds. So great drill. I forget what everybody's time was, but I think I was number 2. So I was pretty happy with that. But one of the significantly younger guys beat the hell out of me. So, but it was a
Silver
good drill. We had
medalist.
a lot of fun. And it's really good. You got to get those packs on your back and get used to them, before you have an incident where you need to depend on them. So,
Right.
they're working on a cold water training class. A couple of guys went down to prep for it the other day. They're using my kid's lily pad. So it's a big foam mat to simulate ice. Fortunately, we don't have any ice yet. So to give an ice rescue class, we have to pretend. So hopefully the next 2 weeks, they'll be down scheduling an ice rescue class. I'll let you know when it is. Pro EMS report was attached. Personnel.
Excuse me, Chief. On the Pro EMS report, it looks like there were no new surveys submitted in the entire month. That page came up blank.
Yeah, I got to check on that. I didn't ask them that question. I'll get back to you on that. I'm not sure if that was a snafu on their part or if there weren't any new comments.
Okay,
I'll get the response back to you as soon as I can on that. Sorry.
thank you.
Personnel, we've got the one staff out with COVID that we found out about on Saturday. He'll miss this week's of work, probably be back the following week. Other than that, no other people out, no other personnel issues. We've announced a promotional test for June of 2021. The current lieutenant promotional list only has one person on it. Contractually, we have to give it every 3 years. It just seemed to make sense to give it in case we have an opening. We more than likely will have one within 3 years. And we need more than one person on a list to really make sure we get the right person for the position. So that's
Plus,
coming
we have
up.
enough new staff that
What's that?
we have enough new staff over the last year that
We do. Well, the new contract also enabled some people that had significant experience in other departments to now be eligible for the promotional exam.
right.
So that also is a benefit to give us more choice to get the best person in the promotional positions that we can. So that's another reason to give it now. So that'll just be the written part of the exam. We'll give the written, come up with a list, and then when and if a position becomes available, we'll give the written, the practical and the interview part of it. So that's how we split it up, just like last time. Facilities renovation. Security cameras are in. They're up and running. They're recording. Haven't got the access, cloud-based access for people to see yet. That'll happen shortly. The doors, we've hired a contractor to replace the doors. They've been ordered from Shepley's. They're due in any day. He's repairing a couple of them, replacing all the exterior doors because they're all rotted. The door security combination we ordered those separately. So we got the same manufacturer that fit the locks that we have. We've installed those. So all the doors have new security electronic locks on them. So they're all up and running. Finally, it's been a while. But they're up and running with the new security code on there, and they'll be swapped to the new doors when they arrive. The new doors are being bored, so they match it identically.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep, thank you. The building permit for the office downstairs has been submitted. They've okayed it. They're just waiting on the contractor number to finalize the permit. So we're working with a couple of contractors to try to get a price, make sure it fits in the purchasing requirements before we finalize the deal with them and get those petitions and windows put in. facilities needs analysis. Still waiting for some input on the draft document we put out from the architectural firms. They promised me some input tomorrow. They said they've been on vacation. They'll have some input tomorrow, hopefully some edits that are suggested to it. Commissioner Conley, myself, and the deputy are going to visit Sandwich Fire Station tomorrow morning. I believe their new headquarters station houses a similar amount of vehicles to ours, and maybe is comparable in what would meet the needs of the Cotuit Fire District. So it's a new modern station. I think I don't know what they paid for it, but I think they were pretty financially conservative on their purchase of it. So I don't think they spent a fortune on it. It'll be good to look at there, see what the problems they had, what solutions they came up with, and how it might fit us. So we're doing that tomorrow.
And relative, Chief,
Go
just
ahead.
real quick there, thank you for setting that up. I'll see you in the morning, and the intent is also to maybe get to some other stations, right, that, that have been built recently, and to, see what they think, what was the lessons learned? What would they do differently? What worked out perfectly? So we're gonna get to a few of them over the course of the next couple months, I believe. Thanks, Chief.
Perfect. The school, I don't know if we're going to get to that. We'll get that very separately, but the school committee to study the Cotuit school projects meeting on Thursday, I believe it's 7:00, I think.
Yep.
I think that's all I have for the chief's report.
If we skipped over apparatus.
Oh, we did. Yeah, I did. I skipped it. Thank you. So 262, we talked about it, had significant repair. It was out of service for a week last month. The total bill for being out of service that week was, I think, $11,000.
Right.
Needed a whole new diesel exhaust filtration system and cooling system. It was extensive, a lot of work. There was another bill, I think, a month before that for $4,000 or $5,000. So it's getting up there in years. It's scheduled for replacement about 1.5 years from now. So obviously the bills are building up. Being out of service for a week, we had to kind of jump through some hoops and get a loaner ambulance in. It took us about 24 hours to get a loaner in that we used for that week. Out of specialty vehicles at zero cost. One of the biggest problems was finding a vehicle that actually fit in our fire station, but we found one. We're working with Sandwich Fire. We're talking to anybody we can. We're talking to West Barnstable too. We're trying to find a shared backup solution. So we need a backup, once or twice a year. To buy a $300,000 ambulance for, a couple of days here and there doesn't make any sense. So Sandwich has agreed in principle to try to find a backup or to use one of theirs as they go through them. That I think the next one that comes out of service to them is too big, but the following one is a truck-based chassis and would fit in our station. So we're working on finding a joint solution with another department to share maintenance expense on a backup ambulance solution. So don't have a solution yet, but we're working hard to try to find one. We know it's a need and we have to find something.
Chief, in the repairs that were just done, when I was looking at the invoicing, there had been notation that in addition to the new exhaust filtration, the old one could be cleaned and rebuilt as a spare part. Did that happen?
No, it didn't. That was our initial thought. When we brought it in for repair, they said the new one was going to be, they said $2,500, and they anticipated a cleaning bill of $500. And fortunately, they could find a new one that was available overnight. They said many times it takes days to get one in there, and it takes several days to clean the older ones, several days to a week or more. So we said, what we'd like you to do is replace it, because I can't wait a week or two to get a new one in. And then next time this happens, if it does, then we've got a backup to put in place. He ended up saying after we picked it up, he said it was actually going to be over $1,500 to clean the one we had. And it was, I think, about $2,000 for the new one. So he said in the end of the day, it wasn't worth keeping it as a spare. So it never happened.
Okay, and if the new system lasts as long as the original one did,
we're all set.
Yeah,
It's someone else's problem.
right.
So, yeah, hopefully we
Okay.
won't have to worry about it again. So it didn't seem to be worth the $1,500 to put into it in the off chance that we may have to do it again. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta let someone else in here. Also on vehicles, hi, Fran, sorry, I thought you were waiting too long. We just let you in. Also on vehicles, the boat has been taken out of the water this week. So we took it out for the winter. Doesn't need much work. We're gonna probably bottom paint it again, probably recoat the pontoons again with some brighter colors. Replace some of the lines. The tow line, it needs a new tow line. It wasn't really a rated tow line in the first place. It was kind of a one we found laying around the station. So just a few little odds and ends to fix up on it, but in pretty good shape for the next year.
Have the engines been flushed and fogged already?
No, they haven't. We're working a schedule to get somebody over there the next week to get that done.
Okay.
So we'll have to get those flushed and fogged. I guess maybe should I talk about the Coast Guard possibility now? Does that work when we're talking about boats?
Yep. Go ahead,
So,
because that comes up next in old business anyhow.
Does it? Okay. So as you all know, we've been using the Coast Guard to provide training for our operators at no cost. They're the best boat operator trainers that exist. So we're lucky to have them. Unfortunately, we only get this training once every couple of years. And it's great to get on the same page with them, learn their techniques, get to know them. But it's few and far between. So what I've been asking for a while from them is to have some kind of a regular training with them. So what I proposed to them is that I asked them, the Coast Guard, if they are willing to do the trainings on busier days in the summertime on our boat in Cotuit or in the south side of Barnstable. So the proposal is bring your staff to us, hang out on our boat, staff it, train with us, and be available in our response area if we get an emergency on the busier days of the summer. And I sent an email off to all the other fire departments, the Barnstable Fire Departments, police, and harbor master to see if they want to participate. So the idea would be we'd get 2 Coast Guard guys on the boat and then 2 first responders, whether it's a police officer and a firefighter, or police and a Coast Guard, or a police and a harbor master, or some combination, and that we try to do this, either every Friday or every Friday and Saturday for the summer. And it's basically our training. Instead of doing it in 2-week blocks, spread it out over the whole summer. Do it when we're most busy, when we have the potential to respond to emergencies and we're available to respond. The Coast Guard being out of Woods Hole and Chatham are about an hour away from us for responses. We're in the middle. We're in a bit of a hole for their response. So they used to have a base in Osterville many, many years ago. This would give them a greater reach in their response capability. It would create a greater coordination between police, fire, harbor master, and Coast Guard. So, and there is the possibility of getting port security money for it. So we set up a meeting for next month between all the organizations. The Coast Guard said they think it's a good idea, and I believe they're in. And we'll see what we can do, and if we can staff that boat with first responders and Coast Guard for the busier times of the summer.
Good.
We're also going to come up later on the. We'll talk about the boat. We'll talk about it when we get to it, right? The McKinnon dock.
Yeah.
All right. That's. I guess that's all I got now, unless I missed something else.
No, I think that's the items listed. Under old business, we've already covered the security upgrades and the door replacements and the security cameras in your report, so we don't have to go over that again. We were also going to touch base on the elementary school property and the station needs analysis, but it sounds as though with the school committee meeting this Thursday, and Kevin, you're going to be going to visit some other sites. It may be appropriate for us to think about a brief meeting scheduled a couple of weeks out to get interim reports on both of those arenas.
We definitely will have had at least a sandwich visit under our belt, so we'll try to do something else as well, obviously, but yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, schedule offset being what it is, we should do that.
Okay, does the 22nd work? Is that too close to the holiday? And I'm trying to look at my calendar here. I don't think we have any.
I'm good, I can do that.
I'm good.
Okay, let's tentatively set a meeting then for, well, not tentative, let's set a meeting for December 22nd, 5:30. We'll assume that it's going to be a relatively brief meeting. We're just going to consider updates on those two arenas, the station needs analysis and the elementary school property.
Yep, okay.
Very good. The last item on my agenda was the dock issue. We have a hearing tonight at 7 o'clock for the Waterways Commission in regard to the application for the dock at 33 Old Oyster. Is that the right number, Chief?
I believe so.
Where if all is approved, the district could get a deeded dock space for our boat. There had been scheduled conservation meeting that's been postponed. Oh, has that also been postponed to the 22nd, Chief? Is that?
I'm not sure in the date. I know the Concom and conservation of both, conservation is Concom, right? And zoning have both been postponed till January. I'm not sure in the date.
Is it January? I thought I read the conservation was postponed till, yeah, I have it on the 22nd that the Conservation Commission was pushed out to.
Let's see, he said, yeah, Concom is postponed to December 22nd. You're right, I apologize.
Okay.
And zoning is January 13th.
Do you have a time on the 22nd for that?
I don't. Somewhere between 6 and 7, I believe. I will find that and make sure I get links to everybody.
Then how about if we schedule our meeting on the 22nd at 5 o'clock, the way we did tonight, just to make sure we have time for discussion and
That sounds
still be
perfect.
available.
Okay.
Okay.
I wanted, excuse me, wanted to ask both of you, have you had a chance to see the diagrams that were submitted for where the boat would be docked if all of his application is approved?
I did
Kevin, have
not.
you?
I have not.
Oh, okay, because it is included in some of the documentation. They have the one that I found most useful was the aerial view with the diagram superimposed.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought you were talking about something new. That was a little while back that was out, correct?
Yeah, that's still the application that,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yes, I have. Excuse me.
I just sent you all
Good,
additional
because-
copies of it.
Yeah, isn't that Kevin at the end of the dock there in the aerial view?
I was waving, I think.
Okay. Well, we got through everything pretty quickly.
Rick, just real quick, if I may.
Sure.
Chief, the meeting you're talking about with the Coast Guard and other interested parties, if I could be of any assistance in attending that with you, let me know, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Your call, just the office there.
All right, Cynthia Gardner had asked to have an opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting. Cynthia, if you're listening, jump in now.
Hi, at your last meeting, you went into executive session to discuss non-union member negotiations, and you never came back into open session. Are you finished with that? Or what's the update of that discussion?
Yes, the discussion was with regard to renewing the chief's contract, and that will be presented at our, what is it, January meeting,
Okay, thank you very much.
certainly. I have no other business on my agenda sheet. Anything else we need to?
I'm good.
All right,
Well, good.
we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, in favor, Pisano.
Conley.
Zace.
Thank you all very much for your participation. Take care, stay safe.
Thanks, Chief, Deputy Chief,
Thanks, guys.
Commissioner.